Hello everyone, welcome to the broadcast for today. It is Sunday, August 10th. I hope you all are doing fantastic today and have had a very good past week and past weekend. I would like to say hello to No H number 8-TS Beautiful. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing fantastic and have had a nice past week and past weekend. Would like to say hello also to Biddy. Great to have you here. How are you doing? Nice to see all of you today. You're a good. I like how I said your full name there. No H8T. Yeah, with like the hyphen and everything. Anyway, great to have you all here. My past week and weekend was a bit overwhelming. But hopefully this coming week will be much better. We shall see. We shall see. Anyway, we are joined here today by our lovely mice. And we're going to be talking about synchronicities. Yes, we're going to be talking about coincidences, synchronicities, and what you can do to maximize your potential by paying attention to the things going on within your life. So we will discuss those momentarily. It's quite warm today, so I am already sweating. I'm already sweating. Okay. Okay. My mic is you can kind of see my mic a little bit. It's kind of peeking through. Anyway, mice, do you have anything to say? No, later. Okay. They just want to sit here and just admire the screen for a little bit. There we go. So I'm curious to get your thoughts. Do you believe in coincidences? Do you know what synchronicities are? These are very interesting things. Very, very interesting things. And we're going to be talking about coincidences, why coincidences do not exist. We're talking about why synchronicities are the key to really guiding you on your path in life. Guide you to make the best decision for your own personal growth. And then I'm going to share about my own journey and synchronicities that I have experienced over the years, because I've experienced so many this year, many years and years and years ago it started. So I will be talking about my journey through that because it is such a fascinating thing. And I like the two mice that you've posted in the chat there. Yes, those are the two mice. Those are the two mice that are joining us. How cute are they, right? Also, finally, I guess YouTube finally listened to me. Their AI bot finally listened to me. I can finally gift memberships again. So I will be doing that at the end of the broadcast. So all of you be sure to stay tuned for the end of the broadcast. Now if you're watching on other platforms, I can't do gift memberships on there. Just on YouTube. Just on YouTube. So let's say, so Biddy says, I bet most people experience them, but many do not recognize them. That is a very, very good point. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I would say most people really do experience a lot of synchronicities within their life, but the problem is that they pass them off either as coincidences, or they just don't give much thought to it. It's like, oh, that's just an interesting coincidence that happens, you know? So, yeah, certainly being able to acknowledge and be aware of these synchronicities can really help you understand where your life is headed and guide you in the right path. I would like to say hello also to Alexandri. How are you doing today? Hello. Aloha from Montreal. Great to have you there. That's right. YouTube has the top fans. So you are now number 2 with 50 experience points. I like how when I actually view the top fans in YouTube, it has... It just shows the username. Oh, there you go, thumbs up apparently, somehow. Yeah. Let me turn that off so it's not distracting us for right now. We don't need that just yet. No, we don't. You're eating a submarine. Well, I hope it's not too metallic for you. That's funny. I don't ever hear people refer to it as a submarine. That's interesting. Yeah, usually it's just abbreviated, but yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? Anyway, let us go ahead and bring out our coincidence here as we talk about coincidences. There we go. Let me move myself over as much as I can. There. That's as much as I can do. Meat and cheese. Okay. I don't think I've had a sandwich like that in a long time, to be completely honest with you. I'd like to say hello also to AR4NDOM4CT. Great to have you here. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing fantastic today. Thank you for all the hearts as well. That's right, I can also do... Let's get the reactions on. There we go. Let's get the hearts here. There we go. Ooh. He likes to eat them. Likes to eat them. All right. So now, let us dive into our topic here. Hope you're well. Yes, I am doing fantastic today so far. This past week has not been so much, but you're great. Thanks. A pleasure to be here. Well, I'm great. I'm glad that you can be here. Thank you so very much. Okay. So coincidences. Do coincidences exist? This is such an interesting topic because I'm sure you hear a lot of people say, oh, that's just a coincidence that something happened. Something that is relatively rare, or something that happened that is out of the ordinary, or people that they meet, events that happen that just line up too perfectly. They are coincidences. Well, of course, we cannot necessarily read the full dictionary here of what it means, but to put it simply, really, a coincidence, in my eyes, does not exist. They are described as rare events that happened without a reason. There's no reason. And when you really break it down and think about it, there is always a reason why something happens. You may not necessarily pass it off as a synchronicity or some sort of thing that can necessarily be proven by scientific means, but everything happens for a reason. Nothing just happens out of thin air. Everything always has a logic and reason behind it, even if you don't necessarily understand the reason for that event to happen. So as a result, a lot of people will just pass things off as coincidences and not realizing the meaningful impact that they have, these meaningful coincidences that they have on their life. So if we think about events within our life, some sort of situation happens, some sort of event that happens that is very rare. We may just say, that is a coincidence, and brush it away. Perhaps you meet someone, perhaps you are out somewhere and you see someone, and for whatever reason, they look familiar to you. You've never seen them before, but for whatever reason, they look familiar. A few days later, you're out somewhere else and you see them again. It's very strange, isn't it? Very, very strange. Like, well, what are the odds? Then you go to a restaurant with a friend and they're there with someone else. Oh, that's just a coincidence, right? You're seeing them multiple times. Well, what if it turned out that person that you keep seeing multiple times, you go to a party of a friend and you see them there and you finally confront them. It's like, oh, I've seen you so many times, but they're completely oblivious to ever seeing you. They don't recognize seeing you at all. But it turns out maybe this person is a friend of one of your friends that you've never met before, you've never really heard anything about, and maybe they're somehow connected to you on a deeper level. Maybe this person that you've met, maybe there's some sort of family ties that you have with this person, or something else along those lines. That's just one example, but it goes much deeper than that. Like, imagine if you begin talking with someone you just don't even know at all, and all of a sudden you realize you went to the same school together, you grew up in very similar type of environments. Perhaps you weren't even born in the same state that you currently live in, and they too were also born in the same state you were born in. Oh, it's just a coincidence, right? Well, you can think of it as that, but the real thing is that all of these things are connected in some sort of way. You may not necessarily see how they are connected. Like, what are the odds of meeting some random person and we're relating on all these different things? It's such a low probability, right? It's basically, if you were to look at it from a statistical standpoint, this coincidence of meeting people or events happening would be so low that it's basically impossible to happen by chance. So that is why I don't believe in any sort of coincidences. To me, coincidences do not exist, because everything that happens for a reason. And you may not necessarily know what that reason is right off the bat. It's like, what is the reason for meeting certain people? What's the reason for certain events to happen and unfold the way that they do? That's something that you may not have an answer for a very long time. These events will happen, and if you're not paying attention to them and just brush them off as a coincidence, you will not learn the vital lesson that life is teaching you. The whole purpose of these coincidences are for you to realize that there's something more than what you're actually seeing. And these are referred to as synchronicities. Now, this is something that we're going to explore more in depth in our next segment, talking about specifically about synchronicities. But I'm sure at one point in our life, if we're thinking about just coincidences, I'm sure there were points in our life that we have thought of something as just happening as like a fluke. Now, of course, there can be things that happen that are not all that significant that you could basically say, okay, yeah, it's such a minor little thing. It could just be a coincidence of something happening. A coincidence that does have some sort of foundation of a meaning behind it, because everything happens for a reason, obviously. It's not just two random events happening at the same time. But things that keep repeating, things that you keep seeing again and again, those are things that are more important. And if you're not paying attention, you will not learn the vital life lesson that life is teaching you. So that is why coincidences do not exist, because this right here, I don't ever use that word anymore. I don't. It's like something, it happens for a reason. So why don't we view it as such and stop using the word coincidence and start seeing the meaning behind a lot of the things that are happening in our life. Okay, there we go. Let me move myself back to the center and let's get off that background. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. I would like to... Let's see here. They've been enlightening me so much in the past 30 plus days. Really? So you've had these coincidences, these synchronicities happen that have really opened up your mind. That is very interesting. That really is amazing. It really is. Let's see. I agree. Logic helps. Yeah, if you try to apply some sort of logic to it, it can. The only problem is that certain things you can't apply logic to. Certain things are just so out of the realm of explanation that you just have to say, okay, this is some sort of higher power at work, whether it be, some sort of divine force or spirit guide or guardian angel or God or whatever it else is that you believe. Some things cannot be explained. I've certainly had plenty of experiences throughout my life of those sort of things, especially I would say I guess some events in my teenage years, and then some in my probably early 20s. And then now, just this year has been filled with so many things that I just cannot explain. I'm still just trying to figure out the meaning behind everything. And I can't necessarily figure out what that meaning... Well, I have an idea of certain meanings here and there, but there's certain things also, it's like, why do things happen the way that they do? You know? So, let's see. I've been having so many interlinking yet completely from what should be different things. Ah, okay. So completely different things that are just kind of stacking on top of one another, I suppose, that allowed you to see things. Mine has led me to my first ever spiritual awakening. Well, congratulations to you for that. How old were you when you first had that? For me, I would say I've gone through like different phases of like spiritual awakening. I'll talk a little bit about that after our next segment, because I want to explore it more in depth, because a lot of the synchronicities I've experienced have led me on a path of many sort of spiritual awakening type things. So yeah, it's such a fascinating thing. It really is. My mood can influence their occurrences and the way it's guided me. Ah, yes, you're absolutely right, absolutely right. Your mood, the way that you're perceiving things, the way that you're perceiving life, it can certainly change a lot of things that are going on around you. Absolutely. Let's say 46. Oh, wow, okay. You know, everyone, I think, experiences it at the pace that they are ready to experience it. And usually it's from something very tragic that happens, or something major. It could be some sort of abuse that happens, some sort of tragic life incident, the death of someone close to you. It could be a lot of things that are very just shake up your world. So, and what is your profile picture, by the way? It looks like, I can't see the full thing, but it looks like that angry Microsoft paperclip thing. Just from what I'm zooming in here. Is that what it is? I can't tell. Wish I could see it bigger. Let me see if I can view it bigger. Let's see. Yes, it is. It's the angry Microsoft paperclip. Oh. Ryan, great to have you here. How are you doing? It has been a while since we've seen you. Hopefully you're doing fantastic. Blessings, yes, blessings indeed. You must be thankful for the things that are in your life, even the negative things. Clippy, yes, Clippy's been retired. ADHD and lifelong abuse in my case, yeah. See, that sort of negative stuff can really bring out a lot of things within your life. You're hunting for chicken lips. Well, hopefully you've found them all, Ryan. Hopefully you have found them all. I'm doing better. Still getting used to not having mom around, so it's been a struggle, but I'm doing my best. Well, I wish you much success with that. I'm sure it is an awful feeling, absolutely, but maybe these nice little mice can cheer you up. That's right. Cheer up, boys and ladies, and smell our feet. Yes, that always helps everyone. That's right. No. Okay, folks, now. It's now time to enter the synchronicity zone of 1111. When you have spiritual awakening, you see this non-stop. I've been seeing it non-stop. Yes, there we go. Let me kind of hide a little bit. So what is behind me here? Is it just 2 ones? Or are there multiple ones? 1111, yes. Many ones. This is probably what you see when you have a spiritual awakening. This could be a synchronicity that you see again and again and again. Because synchronicities are the key to connecting with your true self, your higher self, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, God, the universe, whatever it is that you wish to call it. Synchronicities are basically how the universe is speaking to you, how it's letting you know that you're on the right track or things to pay attention to within your life. So paying attention to synchronicities are a major key. So what are synchronicities exactly? Well, we talked about coincidences. What are coincidences? Basically, events that happen that really have perhaps no related thing behind them, and they could be relatively rare, and they just happen and you just kind of brush them off. Oh, that was just a coincidence that I see this person again and again and again and again. It's just a coincidence that this event happens at this perfect exact timing, exactly when I needed it to happen. Oh, it's just a coincidence that I am in need of someone to help in my life or with my business, and I randomly find a business card on the ground of someone who can actually help fill that role of someone that I'm looking for at that business. Those are just coincidences, right? No. Those are synchronicities. Synchronicities are basically meaningful coincidences, is what you can classify them as. If you want to give a definition to it, it's basically meaningful coincidences. What are meaningful coincidences then? Well, it could be like seeing these repeating patterns, these repeating numbers, again and again and again. 1, 1. It could be like 1, 1 mice here. So look, 1, 1. 2 mice. You could be seeing the same person again and again and again. These are usually things that have a very, very low probability of happening, that it is statistically 0. If you were to think about synchronicities and put it like, what is the statistical probability of this event occurring at this time when you're looking for something, or when you're going through something in your life, or something is happening? What is the statistical probability of that happening? It's basically 0. As a matter of fact, it's so 0 that it makes you start to wonder, is there something else happening here? This seems surreal. This seems out of the ordinary. This does not seem like something that is within the realm of possibility. This seems like something that there's some sort of divine force at work here that seems to be guiding me. That's basically what synchronicities are telling you. They're giving you a guide throughout your life. They're showing you that you are either on the right track within your life, or giving you a sign, pay attention to this situation, to this person, to this event that is happening. Pay attention to it, because there could be massive and tremendous growth to be had here. It's often a message from the universe, from your higher self, from your guardian angel, spirit guides, whatever else, that you're on this path of connecting with who you truly are, to figure out your true purpose. Because I can say, at least from my own experience, which I will talk about in the next segment, that when you start to feel disconnected from who you truly are and what your path is in life, you don't see the synchronicities. They don't happen. They stop. But when you're on that path, when you're on that journey, you start to see them. Not just physically see them, like when it comes to patterns and numbers. Like, for example, this number behind me, 1111. Perhaps randomly you look at the clock, oh, it's 1111. And then I have seconds on my clock. Sometimes I've looked at it and it's 11 a.m. and 11 minutes and 11 seconds. What are the odds of that? And I just randomly glance at that. I say, oh, okay. And then I sit there for like what seems like a few seconds, and it just stays at that time. It's like, okay, very interesting. But then maybe also someone sends you a message at 1111. I've had that happen too. Just a few people, actually it was just one person, sent me a message multiple times at that exact time. And I'm like, okay, interesting. Or maybe driving in my car and I see the license plate in front of me and it says 1111. And then I look at my gas and it says 222. And I'm like, okay, these are repeating patterns. These are repeating patterns that it's telling me something. Now, those are just some repeating patterns there. Okay, that could be giving you some indication that you're on the right path or something. Whatever it is that you're thinking about at that time, pay attention to it, because that could be something that continue with that, continue thinking that, or just continue to go towards that. Or if you're thinking something very negative, it could remind you brighter things are ahead, much more positive things will be coming to you. Because these are always learning opportunities. When it comes to seeing these repeating patterns, these repeating numbers, these people, these situations that seem so rare, it's basically saying to you, pay attention. There's something you have to learn here. They're not going to, the universe or your spirit guides or whatever, they're not going to sit here and say, hey, you're going to go through crazy times within your life. You're going to go through this roller coaster of emotions. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel happy. You're going to go through all this, but it's for your own personal growth. Because most people will be like, no, I don't want to experience that. Instead, they send you these messages, these synchronicities, for you to pay attention to certain people, certain events. And when you do pay attention to that, that's when you can start to explore it and learn what life is teaching you. Life is teaching you a lesson. Something else you can do here also. Be thankful for seeing these repeating patterns and meeting these people and having these events happen. If you're thankful for them, more will come to you that will help you learn and grow and become a better person. As well as asking. If you ask, it's like, show me a sign that I am on the right path. Show me a sign that this event is meant to happen. This person is meant to be in your life. Do this, do that. Ask the question. And you may be surprised that you will get the answer. You may not necessarily get it like a direct answer, like, you know, a vocal answer. You could see it with patterns. You could see it with events that happen. I remember asking something not that long ago. It's like, show me the true intentions of certain people in my life so I can, you know, gauge the situation. And then it showed me. And it was disastrous. You know, it was like awful. It's like, okay, I now know. I now know. So that is what you can do with synchronicities. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to the things that are happening. And then you will feel guided. You'll be guided on an amazing path throughout life. And you will start to feel as though you're truly in alignment with who you are. That is basically what life is telling you. I really want to keep this background up. I really do. It is so lovely. Divine intervention. You're absolutely right. and look at that, TS beautiful. You sent this at, you posted 11:11, and then you were number 1, so it's 11111. Lovely, right? Let's see, it kind of feels like I have some amount of higher insight. That's a good way of thinking about it. Absolutely. It is some sort of higher insight that you have. That is, you can't necessarily explain it. Can you? You really can't. It's hard to explain it. You hear them too, with waking up at 3:33. Ah, and look, you're number 3, and you posted this at 5:33. Look at that. You posted this my time at 5:33. You're number 3 for the top people, and you said 3:33. Ah, see? Interesting, right? I don't want to get rid of this background. I just love this background. Let's see. See, I've been having so many moments of what feels like time freezing when I'm following the patterns. Ah, yes. Yes. It can feel like that at times, can it? I used to be crazy. It used to be crazy times. Used to crazy times. Gosh, I cannot read it. I cannot read it. You're used to crazy times. Yeah, you know, it's like when some of the synchronicities stop for me, I'm like, oh, I was enjoying this wild roller coaster of a ride, you know, and right now it's kind of at a pause for a little bit, but yeah, just guess it was about 2 weeks. No, it was a little, gosh, time is just so long ago. It was almost, yeah, about 3 weeks ago, some major crazy synchronicities happened. Like, imagine if you just watch a random video online and it's perfectly describing everything going on in your life. It's like, that's meant for you. That's meant for you. Listen. Especially when it's like tarot videos. It's pretty crazy. It's something else, to say the least. Let's see, I've grown more this past month than at a faster and greater amount this past months I have allowed to guide me, and I have gained answers to my asked questions. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. You know, that's very similar to how I am this year. This year has been such a massive growth for me. Like, if things were the same as they were last year, I would have not had this tremendous growth. Literally, just so much growth has happened this year. Even just January, like right when January started, within the first few days, something happened that was a very negative situation. But it was also a very positive thing in disguise, because it opened my mind in ways that I never thought imaginable. So I'm very thankful for that, even though it was a negative situation, even though it brought me down, even though it kind of stuck within my mind for so long. But it helped. Let's see here. Sometimes I think numerology is a small part of, don't know how to pronounce that, a spirit quest. Let me look up that word. I have never seen that word. Okay, it's a type of mythical hero in mythology. Oh, interesting. I am not familiar with that. You love my philosophy? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I finally feel accepted by myself. Well, that is what spiritual awakening will guide you towards. It really will. It really will. 1111. Synchronicities. I would like to share some of my synchronicities that I've had now throughout my journey. Because I've gone through, I would say, many types of spiritual awakenings within my life. And I look back now and I realize how I have been guided on a certain path in a certain direction, even though some of the events that I have experienced have been so negative that have literally just tore my world apart, that it's just a miracle. The things that have unfolded past that point, how I've been able to learn. So there have been a lot of synchronicities within my own life that have completely changed my life. Speaking of life, here is the tree of life, as you can see. Life being born here. Okay? So very, very interesting stuff, right? Synchronicities. Maybe it's a synchronicity. After I said this, you look over at your wall. Maybe you have something like this on your wall. Oh, synchronicity, right? So, I've realized over the years, even when I was much younger, that there is usually something that ends up guiding me. Most of the time, ever since I was in my early 20s, it's been people who have been the source of synchronicities, or these meaningful coincidences, or the way that life is guiding me. But prior to that, I would say it was more events that happened, that something was guiding me, even though I wasn't really paying much attention to it at the time. I really wasn't aware of it. So believe it or not, here's what's really interesting. The two major things that are, I would say, positive. I'm not going to focus on the negative things that happened in the past. We're going to focus on the positive discoveries that I have experienced when I was in my teenage years that have really changed a lot of my life. And surprisingly, you may not hear probably anyone say this, but it was from 2 video games, actually. So believe it or not, it was a storyline of these video games. There was 2 of them. The first one, it was about like psychic powers, and it had like a little like documentary video about psychic powers in it. And I'm like, that's so interesting. I want to be able to pick up things with my mind, just kind of, all on my own, So I started to do a lot of heavy research online. This was like long time ago. And I printed out a bunch of stuff, and I still have that stuff. So that really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. And that's where I really learned about meditation and self-hypnosis. And the reason why that is so crucial is because early on with meditation, I was very angry when I was much younger. Very angry. And I think through meditation that I ended up learning to be more calm and patient with myself. So that was a major discovery. But initially, the meditation was primarily, I was trying to force something to happen. I'm trying to force it, and you can't force it. You have to just relax and allow things to happen. And this is also where I learned about self-hypnosis. And this has also been a major positive thing for me as well, because I used self-hypnosis way back in the day to overcome the fear of public speaking. So I was so scared of speaking in public, speaking up in front of a class. And then past that point, after I did that self-hypnosis, my fear greatly diminished, where I was able to give presentations in front of the class with more confidence, more ability to be grounded. So that was like the first game. And then the second game, also the storyline of it was very deep when it comes to psychology and philosophy. And it really made me research what, beliefs there are when it comes to what happens after you would die, or the reason for our existence, or even the fate of the universe, essentially. So all of these things really, if those games that I never played them, the way that information came in like that, I would not be here talking with you today about this sort of stuff, because my interest would not have been with that sort of stuff. It was from that I became interested. So that was like step 1. It was like, here's some information for you. Start researching it. Start learning about it. And then you just go from there. So past that point, there's been many people in my life even that have allowed me to really experience a lot of synchronicities and learn and grow. And I would consider most of these people to be like soulmate type people. And we're not necessarily talking about soulmates as in like a romantic sense. I would say some of them have been, but there's been a handful throughout my life that with each person, there's more learning and growth that happens with that person. It's very interesting. So it started with something very negative initially, where it was a very negative person, but there were so many weird things, and it kind of, I would say, awoken my like psychic abilities. because I would have dreams at night about something that this person was doing, and they were in fact doing that at that time that I was having dreams about them. It's like, wow. My psychic abilities are opening up. It's like, even though it was a very negative situation, life was presenting this opportunity for me to learn and grow. It's like, wow, absolutely amazing. And then with the next connection that I had, there was more growth when it comes to my own mental well-being, being able to overcome my fears, my abandonment issues, and a lot of other problems that I ended up having. Not like 100%, obviously, but major growth there. Then like the third person, it was like, you know, even more growth and connection and progress there even. So basically what I'm trying to say is with these people, there's always been synchronicities. But what's fascinating, and I'm wondering if anyone else has this sort of experience, please let me know if you do, especially if your synchronicities come from people, because mine mostly come from people now. My synchronicities with all the people that I just mentioned, once I either become friends with that person or we get closer, the synchronicities stop. Almost as if life is telling me this person is important. Like even like there was one person, I like the moment I saw them, I'm like, this person's going to be a special person in my life. And sure enough, they were. But then after some time, the synchronicity stopped with that person entirely. It's like I wouldn't see any more. It was almost like I became detached and disconnected. It was very interesting. I'm like, I was wondering why that is. Like usually it's after like a few months maybe. It could be like a few weeks depending, but it's usually not all that long. And let's just say maybe like 3 months or so. It just stops. Synchronicities stop. Interesting. That is up until the most recent type of connection earlier this year, where it was like synchronicity, and still experiencing them to this day. And this is something that is like far more beyond all the other people combined. So it's just, it is wild beyond my imagination. So then, this is where I really give a lot of thanks for experiencing these sort of things, because they have helped me grow. Because just this year and meeting this other person, it's like a massive amount of growth that I have experienced. There's been many negative situations that have happened. There's been plenty of positive situations that happen. And it's just kind of all over the place. It's just, you cannot understand it. But it's really what has allowed me to like open up more to my own psychic abilities as well, like even more than the other things, where now it's like I never felt connected with my tarot cards that are in this safe black box here. I never really felt connected to them up until just this year because of the events that were happening, because they would tell me certain things. I would watch tarot videos online. It would be so exact. It's like, how can it be so exact? I'm not talking about just a general thing. We're talking about very specific details that are beyond the realm of like what in the world is going on. So what I do is I am very thankful for those situations. I give a lot of thanks, and then I ask for signs of certain things, or I ask for clarity regarding certain people, certain events. So if I ask, and I basically say, remove the people from my life that are not of my best interest, who are not here for my own personal growth and are just here to slow me down and stop me. All of a sudden, I notice quite a few people, it's like they just kind of go a little haywire. It's like they just get really weird. They get really bizarre. Something changes about them. So I've realized now, all I have to do is ask. I ask and I'm presented with information and signs. And sometimes it can be devastating. It really can be. But that's what I do to help stay connected to who I truly am and my synchronicities. 1111. Yes. All right, let's see what else that we have here. Before we, I will be giving out some gift memberships in just a moment. So we can finally turn off the background. Oh, it looks so plain and boring. It does. There. Anyway. Lifelong social anxiety sufferer. Yeah. So sorry to hear that. Yeah, you know, it's sometimes stuff like that can really awaken your mind a lot, can it? When you're dealing with anxiety and that sort of pain and suffering, it really can open up your mind. People, art, multimedia, and articles. Ah, okay. Interesting. I have been unafraid to ask questions this past month. Good. So all you gotta do is just kind of ask. It's almost like, even though you're not asking, like, I'm not going to sit here and ask Ruska if his like feet are stinky and pulsating or whatever. It's just, I'm asking something that I cannot see. You know, it's like prayers people do to a god, essentially. But if it's not aligned with your true self, it's not going to happen. Or it's not going to happen the way that you think. Okay? You know? If you ask for something, it could take years for it to manifest into reality. So just be patient. Asking space. Yeah, exactly. Asking space. Okay, so let's see now. We have the tarot reading to do, and then I shall give out some gift memberships. Hopefully the people in the chat get them. We'll see who gets them. I'm so glad that I can finally get them back out. I'm so glad YouTube finally listened. YouTube finally listened to my request of bringing it back, because they took it away from me. They took it away. All right. Let's see if our tarot reading is filled with coincidences. No. Synchronicities. All right. Let us do the tarot reading for the week ahead. For the week of August 11th to the 17th. Oh, look, something was already about to fly out. Something was. So, let's bring it down here. And that's... There you go. Alright, so the first card that came out, that's going to be for the beginning of the week. That's Ask Now. That's actually also... Make sure that we have our crystal there to help us be guided. There we go. Okay, so that is for the beginning of the week ahead. This is now for the middle to the end of the week. That may be it. This one also kind of came out there. Let's put that there. And then lastly, for the weekend. What does the weekend bring? Show us what the weekend brings. Weekend. There it is. Okay. So for the beginning of the week, let's see what we have here. The High Priestess. So this is a major arcana card. Let's take a look at it here. High Priestess. This is a beautiful card. This is like one of my favorite cards in this particular deck here, because it is such a pretty card, isn't it? So this can usually represent intuitiveness, unconscious, your inner voice. This can be your own intuition, listening to your own intuition. There's more depth to something than you're looking at. Maybe you're thinking on a very surface level. Start thinking a little bit deeper about a situation. Start thinking a bit more deeply about something going on within your life. Follow your intuition. What is it telling you? Where is it guiding you? And just listen to it. Sometimes you will have random thoughts that come into your mind from time to time. Maybe that's your intuition speaking to you. Maybe if you ask a question, just sit in silence, you'll get a random, strange answer. Maybe that is the answer to the question you've been thinking about. Or maybe just paying attention to synchronicities that are happening within your life. If you're listening to a song and you are thinking about something, and all of a sudden in that song, you hear your answer very clearly. And for whatever reason, you're like, that is the answer I've been looking for. That is the answer. Okay. Now for the middle to the end of the week, let's see what we have here. We have the 6 of Wands and the 8 of Cups. Okay. 6 of Wands here. And then 8 of Cups here. Okay. There we go. So six of Wands. It's very interesting. Because if we look at this is like a victory. If you notice, it's like a victory that is happening. But then if we look at this card here, it's like walking away from it. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So if we take a look at the 6 of Wands, achievements will be recognized by others. Positive direction that is happening here. Been working hard. Things are maybe start finally are paying off for you, which is fantastic. But we also have this one here, the 8 of Cups, which is abandonment, leaving behind things. As you can see, this person is leaving behind something. He's letting go of something. But it could be some sort of choice that he's making here to leave something behind. So it's very interesting. Maybe it's almost like leaving behind things that no longer serve you within your life for you to experience the victory. That could certainly be it. Or maybe there's some negative situation that's been looming over you that you feel a sense of relief. Or maybe you really want to combat the abandonment feeling by opening up and being victorious in the situation. You want to be open and upfront about how you truly feel about something, which allows you to overcome some of those fears of being let down or abandoned. Whatever the case is. And then lastly, for the weekend ahead, let's see what we have here. We have the 9 of Pentacles. Let's take a look. Oops. This one must be very good because it just slipped right out here. There it is. I can never get this. There it is. Okay. 9 of Pentacles. So basically, this is also another very, very positive card here. This is about your own being able to attain your goals by putting in the effort and time required to attain those. It could be that your finances are improving. It could be that your situation, your job situation, your whatever situation that you find yourself in that perhaps you have had to walk away or maybe face your fears. Face the fears of abandonment. We can do that. Maybe you will be rewarded for that. But you have to work hard at achieving that. And you have to be in alignment with your goals. So if we're listening to synchronicities, if we're listening to things going on within our life, and we're standing up to the negative situations that it'll be very easy to just walk away, but no, we're going to reign victorious, then we will achieve success. All we got to do is put in the time and energy and don't be clouded by all this. It's so easy to walk away from a situation. Don't do it. Be victorious and you will achieve great success. Okay. Fantastic. I feel as though a lot of the readings that we do here are a lot about positivity and success, isn't it? It's very interesting. Anyway, folks, it's now time. Who's going to get them? Who is going to get them? I recognize almost all of these names. Devoured Eagle, congratulations to you for the gift membership. Star Helix, congratulations. Tasha Teeling, congratulations. Martha, possibly Martha Stewart, congratulations. Oh. And Promise Roads, congratulations. All of you have gotten a gift membership. Finally, I can give them again. That gives you 1 month early access to new videos before they are publicly released. So you can watch videos that will be released in October. Lovely, lovely. And also you get a nice little badge and all that sort of fun stuff. You do. 8 months sober. Well, congratulations to you. I am the High Priestess. Ah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, you can gift twice a month. Yes, you can, but YouTube took that away from me for months. I've not been able to give out the gift memberships in months. They took it away, and then finally it is now back. So, I don't know why they took it away, but hopefully they don't take it away again. I tell you. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in to the broadcast today. Hopefully it was helpful, informative for you, and helps you be guided on your path in life. Bye, boys and ladies. We will see you all on Only Feet, where we sniff feet for $5 million a second. That's right. Anyway, wishing you all a great week ahead. You all take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye now.